Video, I will show you some of the best attractions to do in Branson, Missouri that's not Silver Dollar City. I will be talking about various Alpine coasters, zip lines, and other crazy thrill rides. So if you're visiting Branson, Missouri soon, stay tuned and watch this whole video as you'll find out the best attractions to do other than Silver Dollar City. Let's get started. Now I did say I wouldn't mention Silver Dollar City, but I never said I wouldn't mention their water park, which is known as Whitewater. Whitewater features a general Hawaiian theme that's fairly loose overall, and like its sister park in Silver Dollar City, it has some pretty darn good landscaping, not as good as Silver Dollar City's, but still good. You have some use of terrain here and there, as it's located in the Ozarks, and then you also have many thrilling water slides, which include a couple drop slides, a mat racer, some normal body slides that drop you nearly straight down, which those are always fun. Then you also have some various family raft slides, and the usual such as the lazy river and wave pool. So overall, this water park has a pretty solid lineup, and similar to Silver Dollar City, you also have some pretty darn good food, and all for a price of $48. That's a pretty good deal if you ask me. Now, I don't think Silver Dollar City's Whitewater is necessarily like the best water park in the world or anything, but for the $48 of admission, that's actually a pretty good price for what you're getting. Move on to a place you've probably never heard of called Shepherd of the Hills. Now, this is an adventure park that also includes dinner show. And as for attractions, you have the Copperhead Mountain Coaster, which is $17 per ride, which that I will mention later when talking about all three main Alpine coasters in Branson. And then you also have the Skytrek Ropes Course, which this is a pretty solid ropes course, nothing like crazy special, and that's $16. At Shepherd of the Hills, you have two different zip lines. So you have the zipline canopy tours, which these are $90, which sounds crazy, and I don't blame you for thinking that's crazy because $90 is stupid expensive, but this is just more to be a relaxing zipline that gives you a general tour of the areas surrounding Shepherd of the Hills and gives you a great view of Branson, Missouri and the surrounding Ozark Mountains. Now, they also have an extreme zipline, which is much more affordable at $35, and this is apparently like the tallest and fastest and longest zipline in Branson, Missouri, and it also gives you a great view of the Ozarks and the surrounding Branson area. So with all these attractions, Shepherd of the Hills is worth taking a look at and just seeing if it's worth it to you. Move on to the Branson Mountain Adventure Park. Now, this park is home to a pretty nice Alpine coaster called Runaway Mountain Coaster, which is $18, and I will further discuss that when talking about the Alpine coaster. Then you also have a fairly normal zip line that's $35 per person. Then you also have Gem Mine, which, considering how much you mine, it's between $12 and $30. And then now here's bundle I would go for if I went back to Branson, but you have the ride and fly combo, which includes one ride on the Alpine coaster and one ride on the zip line for $48. Which, considering the zip line is $35 and the Alpine coaster is $18, that's not a bad value. I mean, it could be better value, but it's not bad. Now, let's move on to Bigfoot Fun Park. Now, for those of you who know Pigeon Forge, this place is pretty similar to the Mountain Monster in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, as they have what's known as Gravity Bomb, which is a 200-foot drop tower where you're only restrained by a seatbelt, which is basically the same exact ride as the monster drop at the Mountain Monster in Pigeon Forge. That would run you $13 per person. Then you also have the Super Sling, which is basically the same ride as the Monster Sling at the Mountain Monster, and this will run you $21 per person. So with the Super Sling, you're seated back to back, restrained by only a couple straps, and you're probably only going to get 1 to 2 flips. Just know that if you're going to ride it. Then you also have some family-friendly activities, which includes the Yeti Zone and Monkey Jump, which is basically just kiddie play area, and that will run you $13 per person. Then you also have the Bigfoot Adventure Mini Golf Course, which will also run you $13 per person. And then you have a pretty cool 4D shooting dark ride theater known as the Bigfoot Action Cinema, which is basically $9 per movie, and there's 3 different movies to choose from. And you'll be seated on like motorbikes, and you'll have to basically shoot at a screen while also wearing 3D glasses, which sounds pretty fun if you ask me. Here's the option I would personally go for if I was visiting Bigfoot Fun Park, and that's the combo ticket with the gravity bomb and super sling, which that will run you $25. And then you can buy a package that includes all attractions unlimited for $40. Now, like its sister city in Pigeon Forge, Branson, Missouri is known for their Alpine coasters. Now, in my opinion, their most impressive Alpine coaster is the Runaway Mountain coaster, which will run you $18 per person. Now, this Alpine coaster is notable for being the longest Alpine coaster in Branson. And as for all these Alpine coasters, if you go max speed, you can get some pretty good laterals and airtime pop here and there if you get lucky. Then you also have the Copperhead Mountain Coaster, which if you remember from earlier in the video, that's located at Shepherd of the Hills, and that will run you $17. There's nothing too special about that, other than the Copperhead Mountain Coaster being the newest Alpine coaster here, so it'd probably be the smoothest. Though as from my experience riding many different Alpine coasters, smoothness isn't something you have to worry about with Alpine coasters, but nevertheless, that's the newest. And then you also have the Branson coaster. Now, in my opinion, this is the least remarkable out of any of the Alpine coasters in Branson, as it'll run you $17, pretty normal for an Alpine coaster. The one thing that makes this thing unique is apparently there's two tracks side by side. When looking at the website, they won't really show you the two tracks side by side, but they call it a double Alpine coaster. Not exactly sure what that means, but that's really the only thing that's notable about this Alpine coaster. Other than that, it's a fairly normal Alpine coaster that will give you great views of the Ozarks, which you can get on all three of these. Let's move on to the most unique attraction I'll be talking about in this video, that being WonderWorks. Now, this place has what's known as the STEAM Lab, which is basically a place where you can get hands-on with a bunch of different like science-related things and do various science experiments and learn about all that. Then you also have an art gallery, which is basically a small art museum that includes a bunch of different strange pieces of art. Then you have the Route 66 exhibit, which I would argue is probably the coolest thing here. With the Route 66 exhibit, you'll basically learn about the history of the famous Route 66. And as for the price of all this at WonderWorks, it will cost you $32 per adult. If you enjoyed this video, I just want to thank you for watching the video, and remember to check out my video on how to have the best day ever at Silver Dollar City, especially the case if you're planning a visit to Branson soon. And also remember to like and share this video with anybody you know who possibly be visiting Branson, Missouri soon. And also remember to subscribe to Southeastern Thrills, and peace.